Today we are announcing an indictment against 5 officers of the Chinese People's Liberation Army for serious cybersecurity breaches against 6 American victim companies. These represent the first ever charges against known state actors for infiltrating United States commercial targets by cyber means.
In the past, when we brought concerns such as these to Chinese government officials, they responded by publicly challenging us to provide hard evidence of their hacking that could stand up in court. Well, today, we are.
Today, the Department of Justice, as you heard, charging 5 Chinese nationals with hacking into 6 different companies in the Pittsburgh area, actually. And this case is going forward. They're now on the FBI's most wanted list. China, the Foreign Ministry, responding with this. The Chinese government, the Chinese military, and their relevant personnel have never engaged or participated in cyber theft of trade secrets. The U.S. accusation against Chinese personnel is purely ungrounded and absurd. We're back with the panel. Jonah, this comes after a big visit by the head of the highest-ranking Chinese general last week, meeting with the vice president at the Pentagon. What do you make of this move and how it affects U.S.-China relations?
Yeah, I'm actually in favor of this move if it's actually backed up by something. If it's purely symbolic, symbolism is nice, it's important in diplomacy, but these people should be arrested. And I'm actually in favor of an idea by Jeremy Rabkin from George Mason University where we should revive the practice of issuing letters of marque, and we should actually employ people to go on attack to China, but that's a subject for a different issue. Look, I don't think anybody is actually shocked that that the Obama foreign policy has maintained its incoherence with regard to China. It would be kind of weird if we singled out China where it had a coherent foreign policy and nowhere else. At the same time, I think you can have things on 2 tracks. And it's important to figure out, at least getting this on the public, national, and international agenda is a worthwhile thing. It is an enormous issue.
Kirsten, there are clearly 2 tracks here.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this, I don't understand how anyone can even criticize this. This is obviously a good thing, whether or not they're able to actually prosecute them, which they won't be able to. I still think that if they're going to the Chinese and making these claims and the Chinese are demanding that they prove them, I think that this is a step in that direction. It could potentially make life a little difficult for the people that are doing this once they leave the army, you know, the military, and they try to go to the private sector. Could maybe be a disincentive to people in the future. So I think it's just a net good, and it's a completely separate issue on what you think of his larger foreign policy regarding China.
I rise to the challenge of how could anybody be critical of this step? Easy. It is fictional foreign policy. This is a farce. The Chinese, we immediately rejected the charge as absurd, and they make this absurd statement that we have never engaged in cyber theft. The whole world knows it. And we knew that the Chinese rejection would come. Second, we have no extradition in the treaty, which, of course, they reject the existence of the charge in the first place, so it wouldn't really matter. Third, there's no way we're ever going to have these people stand trial.
So we just ignore
Fourth,
it?
No, I'm warming to my subject. Fourth,
0.9, he's going to nail it.
Until I get a signal that I'm running out of time.
You're getting there.
If you keep it up, I'll never get there. Fourth, there will never be a trial. This is simply a show. If you want to do something about this, announce a doubling of our cyber defenses budget, and add a whole section openly that we're going to now work double our spending on cyber attacks. Do something serious. If you do this in conjunction with that, then it means something. I mean, the way that the Justice Department announced this is a groundbreaking step. This is like tweeting Ukraine or tweeting the Boko Haram kidnappings. This is a government with power, not using it and engaging in empty gestures instead. There, how'd I do?
Well, I just don't think that that's... I think that Obama got criticized when he was shifted money in the defense budget precisely for this reason, to spend more money on cyber attacks. He's already done that. And then he was accused of weakening our foreign policy by doing exactly what you just said he should be doing.
Quickly, on this 2-track premise, you have, on the one side, welcoming this Chinese general as tensions in the South Asian Sea are exploding with different countries. And then today's message is, you're bad for hacking, and what are we going to do about it?
I go back to my lack of coherence point about Obama's foreign policy in regard to China. I don't think that these guys really know what to do vis-a-vis China, and they're still struggling with it.
You see, that was pretty succinct.